In this video, I want to talk all about finding editors, whether you're new to it or you are currently looking for another editor. This video is going to walk you through all of the steps that I've gone through to find my editors and how I keep finding new ones that I like to use. So we will go in and kind of define what a good editor is, how to find them, like where they are, and we will kind of talk about some of the things that will help you weed through all of the bad ones. And then to wrap this one up, I want to speak to the editors a little bit and also talk to them if they may be watching this video about what they could be doing better when they message us, pitch to us, send us emails, so that they can get some more clients and that we can all kind of be better at what we do. But before we get into it, there is kind of a caveat I want to talk about, or just kind of a tangent here. Over the years, I have kind of seen this toxic attitude from people in this industry who don't want to share their secrets, right? They don't want to share their editors, their vendors, what have you, because if they share those vendors, it is going to mean that they have less time to work on their projects. So I only want them to work for me. I don't want to share them with you. And I want you to flip that script around on you for a second. What if your best clients said, you know what, we don't want to share you. We're not going to refer you. We are not going to give you a Google review. Because if we give you a review, if people know about you, you won't be able to work for us. And we don't want that. We want you to only work for us when it's convenient for us so that we can make all the money and nobody else can. You would hate that. That isn't a way to run a business. You would go out of business. That is not a way to run a successful business. And I want us all to be a little bit more welcoming to other people and for us to share our knowledge, because there is nothing wrong with sharing your process, sharing your vendors, sharing your editors, because it's not a secret. Photography is not some magical, mystical thing that only certain people have the knowledge to be trusted with. This is an industry that we all can get better at, and we can make better for everyone, including those newcomers to it. All right, so to start it off, what makes a good editor? And to me, the thing that defines a good editor is somebody who can return consistent, high quality results over a long period of time. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are, offering the latest trendy thing, or that they are they have some sort of client name that is recognizable. It is about the consistency over time. That is the number one thing for me that defines a very good professional editor, is that they are consistent in their results over time. There are things that happen. There are days that we are all off, but having someone who consistently throughout the year only has a handful of times in which maybe their quality slides around a little bit is a mark of working with a true professional, and something that I value as a real estate photographer. Number two is going to be an easy to use website with great communication, whether that is a chat that you have staffed by somebody, or it is somebody who is a dedicated professional to your email. Having a website with great communication is by far and away the most annoying thing that you have to deal with when you are trying to find a good editor. Websites are all over the place sometimes. Their sliders don't work, sometimes their galleries don't work, they have very inconsistent linking, and they don't have an easy way to order on there. And I think that those are really big things that are a turnoff for me when I am looking for a new editor or I am checking out an editor. And also having somebody who is really good at communicating. A lot of times there's a language barrier, and we are working across borders, and this is international, and so it's something that having somebody who can communicate very effectively to both sides is also something that is a massive boon for any company that wants to be working with someone like myself, or wants to do high-end work and be seen as a high-end true professional. And finally, the third and final thing for me that has made the difference is having an editor who accepts payments in an easy way. I've had a bunch of editors who were great, but they, had to have some like bank transfer through Wise or something where it had steep fees to transfer and get their invoices paid. it's 2025. Having credit card payments accepted, being able to pay in a way that is most convenient for me, the client, to you, the vendor, there's really not an excuse for it. There are so many solutions out there that are really inexpensive, that can make this so much more accessible to people, that there isn't an excuse to not be doing that. And I think that that is the other thing, the third and final thing that I would look for when I am trying to find a good vendor out there, trying to find somebody who I want to work with. So to sum up all three of those things, it is going to be somebody who has, one, a very consistent look across all of their edits for a long period of time. Number two is going to be a website that is very functional, easy to use, and has a great communication system into it, whether that is email or chat. And third and finally, a company that accepts an easy and accessible amount of payments, that doesn't make it hard for their clients to pay them for the work to get done. Those have been the three biggest things that have led me to the editors that I use, and to working with people who make my life a lot easier and that I love working with. All right, and now number two is going to be where to find them, or how to find these editors. And I think the first thing to remember about this is to please do not use Google to find them. Do not go onto Google and use the top 3 search results. Now, Pixelmob is one that I would put a caveat in that and say that, like, your mileage may vary on that marketplace, and there are definitely good vendors on that marketplace. But I would highly avoid companies that come up like Box Brownie, Fixer, or like Photo Up, some of those other ones, because they have gone to great lengths to spend a lot of money on SEO to be the first thing on there. And they are a middleman. They are not the editors directly that you are working with. These are people who are taking a cut off of it and making these editors pay or earn even less money. And I have seen a lot of people who've tried to use them. There's even a very large company here that uses one of those companies, and their consistency is all over the place. And I get a couple clients a year just from the fact that they hate the editing that comes out of those companies, and they come to me for my consistency and my quality. So the first thing that I would say is do not use those top Google search results. They really, really do not leave you with a pleasant experience, and in the long run probably going to end up costing you more money than they're worth. All right, the second bit of advice I have for how to find one is to really look at Instagram. I get probably 5 to 6 messages a day from editors all over the world trying to get me to work with them, sending pitches, sending their portfolio. And I think that Instagram is a great way to connect with these guys. They're on there, they're looking at you, they're looking at your work. You can look at their work, and it is a really good tool to meet these guys where they are. And your mileage may vary for sure. We're going to get into that when I talk to the editors here in a minute about the things that they could do differently. But I have found most of my editors, if not all of my editors, through Instagram. They have really good communication. They have a really good portfolio. Their website checks out. It checks all the boxes. And I have had great relationships with them, and I've had great experiences with them. So I highly recommend that you check your Instagram DMs and see what you guys have in there. And if you don't have an Instagram, you're definitely missing out on meeting a lot of these vendors who are producing high quality work. And the third and final way that I have found a good place to find editors is to just have a presence online. You know, whether that is social media, places like Reddit are a good place to find them, in the real estate photography subreddit, and also just having a website. Like I said, having a presence. You will get messages if you are out there. If you are producing work that is being seen, and you're constantly updating your website, and you're being active, and you are doing the things that you need to have an online presence, editors will find you, and you will find them. And it goes a long way to really being able to find some of those, you know, lesser known editors that are really good, or people who maybe used to work for one of these big companies and now they've started their own business. There are tons and tons of them out there, and just having an online presence is kind of the easiest way to meet these editors. They are everywhere. They are constantly looking for you. So if you don't have a very good online presence, you're really doing yourself a disservice. All right, so this is going to be to speak to the editors a little bit. And the first thing that I think you guys can be doing better is to stop sending just a Dropbox link or a Google Drive link with a PDF in it of your price list. You need to have a website. It's 2025. Having a website where I can go and I can see your business, I can see what you do, navigate through your portfolio, see how to order and communicate with you. As I said in the beginning of this, having great communication goes a long way to impressing me as a photographer who's going to be using your services, as opposed to just getting, hey, here is my stuff, I'd like to work with you, here's a drive link. Because I can see when those images were put in there and they're hard to navigate, and when they're 2 years old and you haven't updated it and the price list is just a PDF, it's just a big turn off for me in wanting to work with you. It's not how I work with my clients, and I look at myself as a professional who wants to market themselves towards higher end clients, and sending them just a Google Drive link saying, hey, I want to work with you, here's a price list, is not how I get those clients. Finally, another thing is I also want to hit on price. I don't think you should be the cheapest, quickest option out there. One of the things that I look for is I look at how much it's going to cost me. I look at, are you going to be 50 cents an image? And if so, I'm probably not going to work with you because that's too cheap for me. And that's kind of at odds with a lot of real estate photographers, because this industry is very much built around this idea that we have to charge the cheapest thing possible, and you can't charge more money, and there is, no room for you to take a little bit longer to get higher quality images. And that's just not true. That's not what my business model is. And I have paid people, $2 an image, $3 an image. My architecture editor, I will pay up to $25 per image to get the perfect quality out of my images. And so that's something I think a lot of editors need to keep in mind, is that there is a ton of room there to improve, but you need to be able to go back to what I talked about in the beginning of this video, having consistent performing results across a long period of time to justify those prices. And I know that that's hard, but it's something that I am not the cheapest solution out there. I am not the fastest solution out there, but that's because it goes back to my brand. And my brand is me being very precise at what I do, and me being very much a quality over quantity oriented business where I don't compromise. I don't half-ass anything, and I don't cut corners. And I also want that from my editors. I don't want half-assed editors who cut corners to get the cheapest price to me possible in 8 hours. I would rather pay somebody more money to get it to me in 1 to 2 business days than I would pay somebody the cheapest price possible to get it in 8 hours, because I already know that is going to look like shit. All right, to wrap this one up, I just want to put this back to you guys. I want there to be a conversation about what you want to see in your editors. And for the editors, what you want to see photographers do a little bit better, what we can do better to communicate with you, because I know that there are editors who watch this video. And I want this to be a conversation to continue this whole conversation about editors and price and getting better results, because I think that we all win and we all benefit when we are a little more better at communicating, and we all share what our knowledge is and what we want out of this relationship, because that's what this is. This is a business relationship between all of us, and it's far better to have that communication than to just try and be the cheapest, quickest thing possible. I also want to say thank you to you guys. We have hit 1,500 servers. Yeah, 1,500 subscribers. And that's just crazy to me that in a year I hit 1,500 subscribers, when, like, I mean, let's be honest, I don't post on here a whole lot. I'm pretty inconsistent sometimes about it. And I just want to thank you guys, really thank you guys for all the messages you send me, the help that you ask from me in my email. I try to do my best. Sometimes, it is a little outside my wheelhouse, but I will always do my best to reach out to you guys and help as best I can. And again, I just really want to say thank you, and stick around. We're going to keep going, and I am going to figure out how to post a little bit more consistently, and hopefully the quality of these videos continue and you continue to find them helpful. I really appreciate it.